At Sierra, discover great deals on top brand workout gear, like high-quality walking shoes, which might lead to another discovery.
40,000 steps, baby. Who's on top now, Karen?
You've taken the office step challenge a step too far. Don't worry, though. Sierra also has yoga gear. It might be a good place to find your zen. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
For those who know that questioning everything includes questioning this show's existence. The Last Show with David Cooper.
An interstellar visitor has appeared. A comet from outside our solar system called 3I Atlas will be making a flyby. It'll be pretty close to the Earth towards the end of the month. We've been talking about it a lot on the show. Last night, an astrophysicist joined us to proudly declare that it's probably not aliens. And we are joined by Noah Cappe for Noah versus the Unknown, who is about to proudly proclaim we are visited by aliens. What is true? We're about to find out. Noah, welcome to the show.
Good to be here. I feel like every week when we chat, my friend, you always say, where's the evidence? Where's the tangible, real evidence? Where's the photos? Where's the science? This is it. We're going to break this thing down. And whoever you had on the other day, thanks for being the opening act, because it's now time to get to the main show, which is the fact that there's probably some type of intelligently controlled alien interacted mothership. I don't know what this thing is, but it ain't a rock.
All right, who are we going to believe? A astrophysicist with a PhD in astronomy or whatever who spent years teaching and learning about this stuff? Or someone who got his credentials from a Cracker Jack box? And yes, that was a joke borrowed from my baby boomer dad. I'm kidding. I won't be what's called, I think, a credentialist. I think anybody can know things. I think anyone can read a paper. I'm going to believe you at your word, and I'm not going to try anymore to discredit you, Noah, and I feel bad about already doing it.
Look, I am the first person to acknowledge that mainstream science is always going to have the unbelievable pressure and weight of needing their grants, needing support, needing their colleagues. They have to, nobody's going to step out of a lane and say this thing is this thing is that, unless they literally land on the ground and say that. There's a handful of people who are willing to push the boundaries and are willing to put their careers, their reputations on the line. And I think that those people, look, the Avi Loebs, which are always the reference when it comes to these types of interstellar objects. He's a professor at Harvard, and I think that title makes everybody go, oh, it's like legit. He's like a Harvard guy, whatever. But there's a lot of people who are just like, he's bananas. The fact is that we're having this conversation and that there are educated, respected people who are out there saying this thing is weird.
And there are, but we've only had 3 instances of interstellar comets and objects entering our solar system. So we actually don't have a standard for what's weird and what's normal. We don't have a big enough sample set. However, I will concede, like you say, and like experts say, this interstellar visitor is weird. It's got a weird chemical composition. Comets usually have a tail pointing away from the sun or whatever. This one's pointing in the wrong direction. It's odd. I agree it's odd. It's exciting. It's weird. It's new.
This thing is odd. And look, yes, it's only the 3rd interstellar object, which obviously is the name. 3I is the 3rd interstellar. We had, I think, Borisov and Oumuamua. I'm probably pronounced both of those wrong. But again, this is new in that sense. But if you file this under a comet category, then that is a topic and something that we have way more interaction with and way more of a database full of evidence and information. And when you line those things up, this thing just screams all kinds of anomalies. Let's get into it. Look,
Sure.
you've talked about this. This thing was not discovered that long ago. The Atlas system, which is I don't know the
Telescope of some sort.
so yeah, basically an impact last alert system. They discover this thing. Now, what already out of the gate when they notice it, it's like everything already is screaming anomalies. Its speed is, we're talking twice as fast as the average comet speed. Instead of 40, 50,000 kilometers an hour or 25, 30,000 miles per hour, it's double that.
You're making the mistake of comparing this to comets that are gravitationally bound by the sun. They're a different class of objects. So you can't say, oh, it's weird and because these comets are different. Those comets are a different class of objects. So they're not the same thing, Noah.
100%, but we do have two other examples of the same thing, and this thing shatters those. So if we have a small database, a small little set of evidence of 3 examples, this one is so far away from the other two, not just in speed, in its size, all of it.
You and I are going to argue about whether we have a big enough data set or not, and I don't think we're going to agree. And it's not really an interesting argument. Why don't we just get to why you're so excited about it and why you're so excited about these weird things that are going on with the comet? Because I think that's a better conversation because I'm excited about the same things you are.
Sure. I'm a person who I think, there's always that thing of saying, oh, well, statistical anomalies, like statistically, it's going to happen eventually. When it comes to space and it comes to interstellar related conversations, the size, I always try to say this, is something that no human mind can understand. When you start talking about the vastness of what's out there, nobody has the ability to understand the size of what we're talking about. So to me, right out of the gate, 1977, the wow signal. This is like an unbelievable moment in are we alone? The technology and evidence. A signal is detected by SETI, and it's basically this very specific radio style frequency that they circle, and the person who sees it writes "wow" with an exclamation mark, and this signal becomes this like beacon. It's clearly something that isn't natural. There's a pattern to it. There's like almost like a coded message. 3i Atlas comes from almost exactly this area of Sagittarius that is full of ancient and all kinds of references and things or whatever to Sagittarius and its connection to our story as people, as the history of the universe and all of it. The wow signal and 3i Atlas come from almost the same place. The statistics on that possibility are so ridiculously small. It's pretty wild. So that is a super cool part of it. This thing is coming from this area, and from an alignment standpoint, it's hard to tell because you're talking about this thing might have been out there for hundreds of millions of years. I mean, this thing could have been ripping through space for such an amount of time, but that they're saying that when the signal came, it was entering our solar system. It's very odd timing. So the wow signal is the first one that kind of sets off the trajectory of as this thing enters, where's this thing coming from? This is unusual.
That isn't, I actually didn't know that the wow signal and 3i Atlas came from roughly the same place. That is very cool. To me, I still chalk it up as a coincidence, but please keep going.
Well, look, obviously we're going to talk about the nickel iron, and I'm sure that whoever you had on talked about this because this is again something where typically comets, and I know we're talking about comets as opposed to these interstellar objects, but typically anything that falls into this type of category, nickel and iron are together. It's salt and pepper. It's peanut butter and jam. You can't have one without the other. You know what I mean? This is like they just go together. We don't have examples of them not. Now we do. 3i Atlas is... it's like a refined metal. It's like this thing when they get the readings on it is not something that we seem to think is natural.
we don't know what happens in interstellar space and what kind of dust clouds this object went through. And so maybe there's some chemical process through it going through an unknown dust cloud 100 million years ago, many, many light years away, that caused its composition to change. There are plausible explanations here. However, I will concede that it is unusual. The chemical makeup is strange. It's not like anything we've seen.
It's very strange, and it's strange when you start to get into the science of what these metals are, and that if you connect it to the closest metal on Earth, it's, guess what? The stuff we use on our space shuttles, the stuff that we use on our satellites, things that can handle heat, that can take the pressure and all of it. So now you've got this massive object, bigger. It's faster. It's coming from this really unique part of the universe. It's got a composition that is screaming refined metal or some type of manufactured something. It's not a kind of natural as to what we know. Then you get into the front-facing light, which to me,
that's what we're going to talk about after the break. I'm here with Noah Cappe. It's Noah versus the unknown. Noah is trying to convince us he's not doing the worst job. That interstellar object, 3I Atlas, that will be passing close to us at the end of the month is of alien origin. We'll be back with more Noah Cappe and whatever this show is in a moment.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
Exploring both interstellar and interpersonal space-time continuums. The Last Show with David Cooper.
Don't judge an interstellar object by its tail, is what my mother used to never say. We are discussing 3I Atlas, an interstellar visitor, an object that is visiting us from outside our solar system. There have only been 3 discovered to date, and this object is unusual. And well-known people are making the claim that it's an alien spacecraft. I'm here with Noah Cappe. It is Noah versus the unknown, and we are having a spirited debate. Is this just a strange object from outside our solar system, or is it in fact evidence of intelligence in the universe, the first of its kind? I'm not even sure we found intelligent life here on Earth, but that is a debate for another time. Noah, welcome to the show. How's that for an introduction?
That's it, man. We're deep in it, and it's hard to believe that I think we've got some of the strongest evidence to still discuss coming up.
Yeah, this thing's got a weird tail, I gotta say. My co-host, Tony Five, who you've never met, but he's on the show every day, always says, if we haven't discovered intelligent life here on Earth, why do you think there's intelligent life out there in the cosmos? And to be honest, I think it's a great argument.
Your gut, it sometimes just tells you something, and like this thing just doesn't feel right to me.
All right, I'll stop talking about how humanity is stupid. Let's start talking about this comet's tail, because it's pointing in the wrong direction, and that is strange.
It is super strange. I mean, obviously everybody can, even if you don't understand science, you can kind of understand what's happening when you've got something that's made of metal and stone and interstellar, dust or whatever, pounding, blasting through the universe at such a speed. It's going to heat up, it's going to be pressurized, and all of the debris and all of the metals and all of the things that are activated are going to create a tail. And when you pass by things like the sun, due to gravity and the gravitational pull, the tail often will spin a little bit more to the side. So you've got this thing zipping along, but as it's getting closer towards the sun, the tail kind of rotates because the gravity of the sun is now pulling, kind of rotating the tail, whatever. This is, as we would expect with 3I Atlas, just doing the opposite. It's passing by the sun. It's not changing the direction of its tail. It's got a front-facing light. And this isn't like... instead of imagining a snowball blasting through space, imagine a flashlight. This thing is pounding light out of the front of it. It is a persistent front-facing glow that doesn't shift and also is tied into this additional anomaly with this thing, which is this odd electromagnetic kind of bright. There's a pulse. There is a brightness and a pulse that is happening with this thing on prime number intervals, like 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours. There's a mathematical sequence to this thing. They're finding it's going brighter on almost a like clockwork type of schedule. These things are just make you feel like there is some kind of greater control here. There's something at work.
Well, we've all seen, well, maybe we haven't all, but I've seen sci-fi movies where spaceships, to slow down, they turn around and they exhaust and they do propulsion in the wrong direction to get a gravitational deceleration, whatever. I'm just using fancy words here. Is that what you think is happening? Do you think this thing is slowing down? Side note, one curious thing is 3i Atlas is too close to the sun right now to observe. And so we're going to get a good look. Even though it's close to us, our telescopes can't see it. So like in, I think, late November, December, we're going to get another great look at it when it's far enough away from the sun. Will it be completely different? Will it have slowed down? Will it even appear on the other side of the sun at all? What do you think is going on?
I mean, okay, so you get into this tough thing where you go, okay, you can't sit here and say it's aliens on a ship because they wouldn't be flying through space at 60,000 kilometers an hour. If you had the technology, if you were an advanced being, whatever, then you're moving through space in a different way. Nobody is like going on a family road trip where it's like, it's going to take 8 days to get to Earth. It's going to take 100 million years to drive to Earth. I think the thing or the thought is that this is some type of surveillance, intelligently controlled, some type of object that may not necessarily be full of a bunch of little green men zipping around, but that is monitoring or up to something. The trajectory on this is before we get into the photo evidence, which is, I think, the last piece we should talk about. The trajectory of this thing is part of the big anomaly and the question here. The trajectory on this is so weird. A typical comet or anything that we've kind of experienced like this before moves in a very wacky, wild kind of route. It's getting pulled, it's getting pushed, it's getting redirected, it's interacting with gravitational pull, whatever. This thing is on a course. It's following a course. It's not variating from its path. It's passing through. If you had to put the perfect path through our solar system to monitor every planet at the exact time, this thing is it. It's passing Mars at its exact moment. It's it's just, the trajectory is as weird as the rest of this thing.
Could it be a probe? Like, in Star Trek where they send a probe to check what's going on?
That to me is, if this is not natural, then I'm going to go with that. This is some type of intelligently controlled probe, surveillance, data collection, lost relic that's blasting along empty and still powered. I don't know. But the trajectory on this thing, it's like somebody took a ruler out and drew a line right through the middle of everything and said, oh, forget all we know about science. This thing's going to stay the course.
But why wouldn't aliens want to visit Earth? Like, it's not coming that close to Earth. It's coming way closer to like Jupiter and other planets. If they were coming to check us out for life, wouldn't they come closer to Earth?
Well, look, they're here. We're being checked out every day. We've been being checked out every day forever.
I've been letting you go on these long rants without attacking some of your claims. And the problem is when you make a claim that I don't agree with and then you just jump to the next one, it's kind of hard to have a discussion.
Well, look, Dave, we spent the last 15 weeks of me slowly, week by week, telling and showing you that we are not alone, especially on this planet. I don't think this is the first big arrival of a little gray alien. I do think this is some type of unnatural object that has some type of control to it that we don't understand.
Here's all I'll say. I don't think there's enough evidence to believe that. I think there are some cool and anomalous things about this. And because I like you and because I want to present this other side, I'm letting you go through a long list of claims like somehow its orbit or its trajectory is eerie or strange. I don't agree with that. There are comets that have eccentric tails. It's not the first one. It's just unusual. There's a lot of things here that I don't necessarily agree with, but I think we can agree that it's exciting. It's cool. And it's the third object like this that we've got to study. And isn't it amazing that it's huge? It's got a weird composition. Its tail is strange. Like, this is all exciting stuff.
Before we get into the cherry on this sundae, just to wrap this thing up and blow your head right off your shoulders, in regards to the trajectory, I mean, you're seeing gradual slow deceleration, gradual acceleration. This thing is not moving like a runaway, snowball down a mountain. This thing is flying by Mars. We have more cameras, more rovers, more satellites, more freaking things that could document this than ever before. And what happens? The day after it passes, everybody's waiting for NASA to post all the photos. Go to the website. The NASA site has been shut down. We're not funded. We won't be posting whatever, China, nothing. Radio silence. All of a sudden, not sharing anything. Name a country. This thing has gone dark, except for, I believe it was the European, I want to say the European Space Union or something. They take a photo, a video, and they post it online. The only people to share this thing since it's past Mars. The video, David, is mind-boggling. I understand you're looking at pixels, but this object is like changing in geometrical shapes. It's wild.
Noah, we're at time. I love you. That is food for thought. Noah Cap, it's Noah versus the unknown. Noah, thanks for being here.
See you on the other side, buddy.
And Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu? Is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.